Welcome back to another edition of K&E Theater Group's Local Spotlight Series. I'm so excited for today's interview. I feel like I'm excited for all of the interviews, but this one I'm really excited for because it involves the Northampton Center for the Arts, which is where we did Songs for a New World and Assassins, and where our supersized season 2 will take place. First and foremost, if you are inclined to donate to us today to help us with our 2021 season, in the comment section below, you will find a PayPal link. Click on that, and that's the way to donate to K&E Theater Group. There will also be a link down there to donate to Northampton Center for the Arts. If you are not watching on Facebook right now, you're on IGTV or our YouTube channel, or you want to donate later, you can always go to ketg.org and click on Support KETG and donate there. Well, I'm really excited to have our next guest here on the Local Spotlight Series. She is the events coordinator, the events director of the Northampton Center for the Arts. May we all welcome Melissa Dimetres.
Hello.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Eddie.
I almost slipped and I almost called you the events coordinator, and then I was like, nope, wait, events director.
I got a 2-second promotion. I love it.
Oh, all right. We're so happy to have you on, not only to talk about yourself, but Northampton Center for the Arts. So I would like to start with the question I ask everybody to really get to know them, and that is, what is your theatrical timeline? So where you started on your creative journey and where it's taken you.
Okay, awesome. I'm really excited to talk about the center too. Where I started on my creative journey, well, I kind of came out the gate very creatively inclined. I, at a very young age, was sort of playing dress up and doing these performances for my very patient family, and I had this love of movies and theater from the time I was a really small child. And then when I got a little bit older into elementary school, I started writing, and I wrote this report in the 5th grade, and I still remember it. I wrote a report on Helen Keller, but it was written sort of through this lens of fiction. So it was almost like writing a biography. You know, it was able to be like prosy and flowery, but about this person. And I remember my teacher cried when she read it. And there I was, like 10 years old, totally hooked. And then at that point, I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. I want to move people with words. And I just was in love with writing, and I started writing little novels on my typewriter. I just aged myself, yeah. I had one of those like kind of electric typewriters. And I would write novels on there and was just totally hooked. And then for high school, I ended up going to a performing arts high school and studying theater, and did a lot of Shakespeare. I was very cool. I was not cool. And yeah, I studied some dance in high school. And then for college, I actually moved out to California right after high school and was super gung-ho about having a career in California. And I was going to go to college out there, and very quickly made the decision that I wasn't ready for that kind of thing, and that I should be putting education first. I think I was smarter at 18 than I am now. And so I went to Smith and started out as a theater major. But the reason I had chosen Smith was because they have a great study abroad program.
Okay.
And all I wanted in the world was to study in Paris. Like, I had this weird affinity for Paris from the time I was a little kid. And so I chose that school because of their abroad program. And the year that I was there, it was really, really competitive. And if you were not a French major, you probably, it didn't look good. So I switched to French. But maybe actually I wasn't making great decisions.
You're like, I just want to go to Paris.
I just wanted to go to Paris. And then I did, and it was incredible. And I got to study theater there, and I wrote a lot when I was there. And I feel so sad that I don't still have those pages. And I had a great experience at Smith. It was really, I feel very lucky to have had a really good college experience. And then right after college, I moved to New York City, and that is when I got really serious about fiction writing and got very involved in the literary community there. And I absolutely loved it. And then a friend of mine she and I started writing this pilot for fun, like a TV pilot. And I had never considered screenwriting at all. Like I was like a serious fiction writer. You know, I had my glasses, these glasses, and my flannel shirts, and I was a serious fiction writer. And we started, it's so true. And we started writing this pilot together. And then one night, this is a long answer, sorry.
No, I love this.
I was in night school for writing. And one night I was at this workshop. Different people would host workshops at their apartments outside of class. And this guy showed up who knew or worked with the woman who was hosting the workshop, and he was a producer. And so he came in, and I didn't know who he was, and he sort of was asking about our projects, and I told him I was working on this pilot, and I was like, I don't want to talk about it, like it's not, you know. And then he was like, oh well, you know, I'm a film producer. And I was like, all right, I'll tell you about it. And so long story short, I had been accepted to Sarah Lawrence for grad school, and I was going to go to this creative writing fiction program, and my pilot ended up being picked up by this guy, and it was really cool. It was quite an adventure. Yeah. And so, nothing ever happened with that script, as most things happen when they aren't, you know, when a producer has interest in them. But it sort of gave me the encouragement and the excitement around screenwriting. And I moved to LA for a while, much older than the first time I moved there. And probably a full decade. I was in New York for about 10 years, and then was excited about TV writing. And I had the opportunity to meet with someone who had worked on Friends and Arrested Development as a writer. And he gave me some really great advice. He said something to the effect of, look at your heroes, look at who they are, and then back up their lives to the moment they started, and how did they start? What projects did they start with? And that's where you want to be. That's what you want to be doing. And that's when I started making independent films, because all of my heroes had started that way. And I ended up back in the Valley and found a really incredible group of filmmakers here who are awesome people and just wanted to get together and make films. And we did it, and it was unbelievable. So and then I had been making these movies and working these like crazy 18-hour days, trying to work in completely non-arts related jobs, and then going and making movies and taking time off to make movies. And I really came to a point where I just wanted to believe that it was possible to have both. And so I looked for jobs in the arts in the area for a long time to no avail. And then, you know, I had heard Penny Burke's name a lot. She's sort of famous around here. And I just sort of decided to send her an email and see what would happen. And we met, and I walked into 33 Hawley for the first time. And this sounds fake, but it's totally true. And it was the first time I had felt at home since I moved to the Valley. I walked in there and I was like, I'm home. Like, this is it. And then Penny and I were two peas in a pod. We clicked immediately and got along really well. And I just feel like I've struck gold. I mean, to have a job in the arts that I love, it's awesome. So I've been very fortunate.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But I do have a funny story, which you may or may not put in this.
Yes.
But I remembered thinking about this just now, that when they were constructing 33 Hawley, which is owned by the Northampton Arts Trust, I was walking by it one day with a friend of mine, and there was a big banner that said that the Center for the Arts was going to be there. And she was like, what is this building they're building? And I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, oh, Center for the Arts. I was like, I'm probably going to work here someday. And
lo and behold,
it's my favorite place in the world.
Event director. Boom. That's amazing. Now I have to ask you, though. I've got to ask you about Paris.
Oh my God, Eddie. I just belonged there. Like, I got there and I was like, yep, this is where, kind of similar in a weird way. I just was like, I get that way, but I was just like, this is where I go. I love it.
What did you do as far as the arts there?
So I got to see, well, you know, I went through Smith, so I really got the like poodle treatment. It was very lucky. You know, I got to see theater of all levels. You know, I got to see their equivalent of Broadway productions. I got to go to the opera a couple times, which I actually loved. And then, you know, we would take buses out to the country and see these small productions that these little theater companies were putting together. And so I got to see a really wide range of theater there. And it was incredible. I'm so in love with that city. and everything it offers.
I want to go so bad.
You have to.
Someday.
Someday, yeah.
Uh,
Now,
right. So speaking of, someday, we're all in this pandemic.
Yeah.
We are hoping
We
that
sure
it
are.
ends soon. But what have you been doing to stay creative during the pandemic?
Yeah, well, the job at the center is normally very, very busy. And I have been enjoying a little bit of space to write again and focus on those projects. I'm developing a pilot about a performing arts high school because I think a performing arts high school in the early 2000s is gold and someone has to make that show.
That's amazing.
It was something. And I have been painting a lot because I find that I'm not a great painter, but I really find that it gets me out of my head. Writing is so cerebral and we're surrounded by the news and everything happening in the country is so awful. And so for me, painting kind of takes me away from all of it. And so personally, that's what I've been doing. And then my job at the center has sort of morphed into a very creative role. I've been doing a lot of social media. I did featured artist, Eddie. Mm-hmm. You were featured.
Wow.
Doing a lot of social media and helping people do online programming, which has been really a great way to stay connected to our community. I feel like even though we've all been in our houses, I feel almost as connected to all the people I get to work with as I usually do. So that's been awesome.
And what's the website so people can see your online offerings?
Yeah, it's www.nohoarts.org. And then if you go to events, you can see Hawley Street TV, which Kelly created. My colleague, Kelly Silliman, our program director, created Hawley Street TV. And it's amazing. There are 4 episodes and it's all kinds of people in the community came together to contribute to these little episodes, and each snippet's about 5 minutes. They're really great. And the episodes are about 25 minutes total, 30 minutes total. So that's under events on our website. And then if you go under classes, all of our online programming is in those categories.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about how you got involved with the Center for the Arts, but can you explain what the Northampton Center for the Arts is?
Yeah, so we're a nonprofit and we operate out of the Arts Trust building at 33 Hawley. And our main mission is to steward space for artists. So we don't curate. Most of our programming is rentals. And our goal is to keep our rates really affordable so that the space is accessible to anyone and everyone. So that's our main mission. Yeah.
We need that.
And we've been so lucky to have K&E in there. What you guys have done with the space has been so incredible. You have shown us the potential of our flex space, really, truly, with those sets. It's been incredible.
There's more to come, believe me.
I actually really can't wait.
I've got some crazy ideas, so it's gonna be, yeah. So now, what type of programming do you have? And how would someone get involved, for instance, in like your I know you have virtual dance classes, is that correct?
That's right, we do.
So how would someone get involved in classes now? And also, how would they get involved once you guys reopen?
So if someone wanted to take a class, all of our classes are on our website and our Vimeo page, which is just vimeo.com/Northampton Center for the Arts. If someone wanted to teach a class, they can just email me. I have a direct email and I answer our general email inbox, which is just ncfa@nohoarts.org. And it's pretty simple. We set up, if people want to teach through Zoom, I can sign them into our Zoom account and they can teach the class that way. Or if people are doing videos, we just upload them to Vimeo, and that's about it. It's pretty easy. And yeah.
What other types of classes do you guys have? Normally, like if say we weren't in a pandemic where everything had to be virtual and we could all like get together and hug and dance. What type of other things happen at Northampton Center for the Arts that people can get involved with?
Well, we're really lucky because we sort of have an all ages range. You know, Kelly teaches classes, Kelly and Jamie Winnell, who's wonderful, teach classes for starting at ages 3 to 5 dance and movement classes. and then all the way up to her adult ballet class. And we have all kinds of dance and yoga classes. We do have some theater classes, and we have a little bit of music. HAVGO is one of our resident companies, Happy Valley Guitar Orchestra, so they rehearse there. We have writing workshops with Michael Goldman every weekend. Those are online. Poetry critique workshops. I almost need to look at the back of my sweatshirt to see if I'm forgetting any arts. We have honestly all kinds of stuff, and it's all on our website. A lot of it's on our social media. Gabe Levy teaches theater classes, and he also teaches a laughing club every Saturday. And he has a video advertising it where he's just sitting there laughing, and I can't, every time I watch it, I crack up. It's really pretty awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
You do. I love that. We need that in the Valley. We need classes. We need just more art. That's what we need. We need more art. So how does Northampton Center for the Arts look to broaden its community outreach?
Well, we have been, the online programming that we're doing, we sent to all of our contacts, all of our renters, all of our teachers, and offered that they, or really anyone in the community, could teach online or do anything online that they want. And what's been really cool is that our social media presence has really gotten a lot of momentum during this time. And that's made me feel really connected to the community. It's actually been a cool way that we've been maximizing our connections. And really, one thing that's really important about the center is that we really are open to everyone. Truly, we don't curate. Anyone who emails me is going to be able to rent space. And I think that's really my favorite thing about the center, is that these opportunities that maybe aren't available to everyone. And I say that as somebody who for a long time was in that position of, where am I going to have my premiere? Where am I going to put this play on? All of these things. And we really try to give that opportunity to people who wouldn't normally have it.
I mean, it's one of those things where back in 2019, we were searching for a venue for Songs for a New World. And one of my friends, Ashley Cole, who owns Ohana Dance Studio.
Yeah, I went to high school with her.
Did you? Oh my gosh.
So funny.
No, she's the one who said, hey, you should talk to Kelly Silliman. There's this new space opening in Northampton, because that's where we wanted to be based. Because we felt like we needed to bring some musical theater to Northampton.
Yeah.
And that's also where I first met you.
Yeah.
And I remember walking in and just being like, this is cool. This is a great new space that's modern. It has a lot of different art facilities inside, and it's really something that we need, because there are companies that do not have the luck to have their own space, and so they rent, and there's not many spaces available to rent to put on theater. So to have the flex space, for instance, was amazing, and everyone at Northampton Center for the Arts is just wonderful.
Thank you.
So easy to work with, easy to talk to. They make everything so simple to get through, and it's just a really welcoming, warm place.
Thank you. Yeah, I have some incredible coworkers, two, to be exact, and they're both incredible.
say their names. Tell us what they do and who they are.
So Joanna Farabee Walker is our managing director, and is one of the kindest, most amazing, hardworking people you'll ever meet. And Kelly Silliman is a force of nature, and she is our program director. And Kelly's incredible. She's on the ground working for our artists all day, every day. Yes, and I feel so lucky. The three of us have a really unique bond. I mean, we're all really good friends. And that makes it, I think, a better place to work and a better place for our artists, because there is that harmony and we all work really well together. So I'm very lucky.
Everyone who's watching, these three women are powerhouses. Yeah. They are just single-handedly making Northampton more artistic. And we are so much better with them around working.
That's so sweet.
I bow down to you.
Right back at you. Right back at you.
So now we talked about what everyone already knows, that we're in a pandemic, and the center's closed right now. You're doing a lot of virtual programming.
Right.
So I think a big question, and this is for people watching who, you know, are excited for the center to open up, for all performing arts to come back. So what is NoHo Arts looking to do to make sure that people are safe once you do reopen?
Well, because the building's not owned by us, we do have a reopening committee that is the Arts Trust and then a representative from each organization. And Joanna, our managing director, is our representative on that committee. We will not be able to reopen until phase 3. It looks like the center is in Governor Baker's phase 3. And I feel hopeful that we will reopen with some semblance of a new normal by the beginning of fall. Of course, none of us have any idea what's going to happen, and I am sure that we will. You know, we've already had conversations about mapping out 6 feet apart in the building and sanitizer. You know, we will be taking every precaution. I don't know what they are yet, though.
Yeah,
but we'll definitely take them.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, just knowing that you guys are thinking about it, and that you have an entire team in place, you know, doing the research and taking into account what you do at the building and what you have at the building. You know, it's nice to know that you guys are working to keep the creatives and the audiences and the teachers and the students and the renters safe. You know, it's important because we want everything to open up and want everything to start again. So it's always nice to hear that you guys are sitting down and having that conversation. So I thank you for that, because it's so important. So I like to end every interview with the same question. And that is, what draws you to live theater, to live performance?
Ooh, that's a great question. This one's a curveball. What drives me to live theater? I mean, like I said, I just have this, it's been in me since I was born. I have a feeling you're the same way. I think what I'm really drawn to is storytelling. I think storytelling and narratives and the way that different people do it. And I noticed when I got really serious about writing that the thing that makes any performance or piece of work is relatability. We can see ourselves in it in some way, even if it's like something incredible like Cabaret. You know, there's humanity in it. And I think that being able to see our human experience reflected in performances and in any kind of theater is what draws me personally to it.
What an incredible answer.
Oh, okay, good. I was like, uh-oh.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. It's true. I mean, I really think we all, like every artist, every human, but especially artists, want to feel seen. And I think there's just something so incredible about theater that makes you feel that way, and you connect to it and you leave better for it.
I agree. Yeah.
Well,
we are in a pandemic, and you know, we have talked about Caney Theater Group with our PayPal in our comment section below to help us with our 2021 season. But we also want to make sure that the audience out there, if they're in a giving mood, has the ability to donate to Northampton Center for the Arts, because you know, everyone is struggling through with this pandemic. Every little bit helps. So can you just let our audiences know how they can donate?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So we do have a Venmo, and our Venmo is just Northampton-Center for the Arts. And then the other way to donate is just through our website, and it's www.nohoarts.org/donate.
That's fantastic.
We try to make it simple.
Yeah, no, and the thing is we you know, we are going to be putting that in the comment section below as well, and I think it should have flashed across the screen for those of you who want to write it down. But yeah, it's, you know, it's a tough time for everybody. The artists don't get enough as it is, as far as the help that they need, and they're so that everyone needs the arts, even though they don't think they do.
Yeah.
Everyone needs the arts.
It's true. It's true. I mean, that energy lives in everyone. I really believe that everyone's an artist.
They are. And I think that what you said about what draws you to live theater is a prime example. It's, we're all humans, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
It is.
Yeah.
Melissa, you have been so wonderful to talk to.
You too, Eddie. Thank you so much.
Of course, and you're so insightful, and I'm so happy
Thank
that
you.
not only do people get to meet you, the events director at Northampton Center for the Arts, but you got to inform everyone about this incredible place in Northampton.
Thank you. And I should, before I go, give a shout out to our incredible board of directors. It is a group of very, very hardworking people who are hands-on and have been, I'm very grateful to all of them. I would not be here if it weren't for them. So I need to give them a big shout out to.
Let's give them a round of applause.
Yeah, let's give our board a round of applause.
I would stand up and do it, but I'm wearing pajama shorts. So.
I love that. I got yoga pants over here. I mean, you're in good company.
It's all I can only dress up halfway. All right, Melissa, thank you so much.
Thank you, Eddie.
You have a great night.
Thank you so much. You too. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
She's so cool. Just a reminder, again, if you're inclined to donate to either K&E Theater Group, again, to help us with our 2021 Supersize season, or if you want to donate to Northampton Center for the Arts, in the comment section below here on Facebook, you'll be able to see both of those links. Also, if you're on YouTube or our IGTV, you can always rewind this video. You can go to www.nohoarts.org or their Venmo information. And the same thing with us. You can go on ketg.org and click on Support KETG to donate there. Thank you so much for joining us again tonight. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I have loved putting on our shows at Northampton Center for the Arts. I'm so excited to do our Supersize season there. They're just an amazing group of people, amazing facility, and those three women are just wonderful and just make my life so much easier as the artistic director of K&E Theater Group. So I thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody.